Trust is huge in the construction industry, so it's hard to use AI, and ethical marketing is important. My friend just released this ethical AI marketing ebook, so I wanted to share some quotes that stood out to me, some ways that this relates to the construction industry in general, and just some thoughts that I had. If you want to skip this video, it'll be pretty unstructured, so I'll just include the link to download this ebook wherever I post the video. Without further ado, let's dive right in. I think I'm going to start at the bottom because it's a nice, like, broad picture quote that stood out to me. Showing up authentically helps people decide if they're aligned with your brand values. I mean, that's kind of the big picture right there. And the other thing was create content for your people. Focus on valuable, accurate, accessible content that genuinely serves your audience. Participate in genuine conversations. And basically, I just feel like if in doubt, you just want to leave a paper trail of genuine value. I feel like those two things solve 75% of the challenge of ethical AI marketing. Be authentic and always provide value. It's kind of obvious but true, but it's always a good reminder that you're talking to intelligent, present people, not just algorithms. Okay, in the intro section, she mentioned that AI is happening no matter how much you do or don't like it. So this made me think of a term that I heard recently, mutually assured AI dominance, to where it's basically it comes from mutually assured destruction, which is the military idea where it's like they're doing it. They have all the weapons, so we have to build all the weapons. And that's kind of what's happening, in businesses and nationally right now is like we're all building these massive data centers and technologies. And there's a big element of competition that's playing into the rate of progress here. Just an interesting concept. And the quote that stood out to me was technology may change, but your values don't have to. I love that. Very nice. And then the other thing that this intro made me think of is integrity is practical. I love this concept. It's really applicable to our industry. And maybe I just thought of this here because it bypasses the philosophical quandaries involved with ethics or morality. It's just like, well, if it's practical, then you don't really need a definition for what ethical means. All right, let's see. I like this quote that she included. AI generated content is the new floor, not the new ceiling by Rand Fishkin. They were talking a little bit about Adobe and Canva in here. Avoid using AI for logos and core brand assets. I tend to agree with this. Always deeply care about the first and last 10% or about the most leveraged 10%. So a lot of the time that's like creative brief, revisions, and final approval. But on a larger scale, that 10% that makes a massive amount of difference is your logo, your brand assets, your value proposition, like the sentence that your entire team, anytime they're asked about your company, the one sentence that they say to everyone, you don't want that to be AI generated. Here's another one. Use AI as a starting point, not the final word. Treat AI generated graphics or branding concepts as inspiration or drafts. Maintain human oversight to help catch errors, biases, off-brand visuals. Always fine-tune and personalize assets to align with your brand values. Yeah, totally agree. And I think the same thing about strategy. I've been building a marketing plan generation prompt, and it's massive, and it will only ever be used for brainstorming, not producing the final plan. Web development and user experience. Users should know when they're interacting with AI instead of a human and how their data is being collected or used to shape their experience. I think this is something that would never be an issue if marketing was always framed around I'm communicating to another human. I'm not communicating with an algorithm. And I also want to know when I'm consuming AI generated content. I don't mind if it's good AI generated content, but I want to know. This quote is great. Google's black box smart bidding algorithms now make millions of micro decisions per second based on signals advertisers can't even access, like weather patterns, user device battery levels, while Meta's AI determines not just who sees your ads, but increasingly what those ads say and how they look. This has led to a reliance on AI magic with minimal transparency. One of my notes that I wrote here was always consider a platform's motive, and she actually wrote that later, that exact thing. Yeah, I totally agree with this. It's like Google and Meta especially really sell you on using the AI. If everyone uses only their AI, if everyone is just clicking a few buttons, it really levels the playing field. And you don't want to be buying digital ads on a level playing field. That's not how you get profitable ads. So yeah, you still want to build ads in a way that allows you to optimize as much as possible and retain control. And then about the creative in ads, avoid using dynamic creative tools that use AI unless you can either preview the ads or the components of the ad campaign. While these tools may be useful in saving time and resources, it's helpful to always include human oversight to ensure the quality of your ad campaign. I totally agree with this because the dynamic creative AI suggestions are always so enticing inside Meta. They just do a really good job of making me excited about clicking those buttons. If you're spending money on attention to your creative, then you want to actually invest some energy into making it good. Okay, so this is a fantastic section, search engine optimization. We know that AI is taking up some of the market share of search engine optimization, so people are staying on AI platforms more. Google is integrating AI into their search, et cetera, et cetera. The bottom line here is this quote: create content for your people. Focus on valuable, accurate, and accessible content that genuinely serves your audience. Participate in genuine conversations. And my bottom line that I added is if you're in doubt, leave a paper trail of genuine value. This has always been and will always be the trend. The better technology gets, the better it's going to be at determining how valuable what you're putting out into the world is for a specific group of people. The more you just focus on providing value to people, the more future proof you will be. So, yeah, the general technical trend here is people can just have the information created for them personally, real time, on a platform. They don't have to go to your website. So people are getting less search engine traffic because people can stay on platform more. This gives you less data in your website. It's great for the platforms. Google has always been a platform that needs to reward people for creating website content in order to have content to give to their users. But now Google can just give all the content to their users, so they don't really need to reward you with traffic anymore. So it's great for Google because they get to retain traffic. It's great for the user because they get a lot more information without having to click through a bunch of different, because you get all the information you need. It's not so good if your whole marketing plan relied on inbound traffic from SEO. AI also takes in a lot more sources, so just a good brand reputation and a large digital footprint is a lot more valuable now, even though it's a lot harder to track. Incorporate transparency. This is a bit of a side tangent, but bear with me because it'll tie in a couple of things that have been brought up so far. Full funnel messaging, where you give a similar impression from first touch to nurturing to the sales call to the customer experience. It's very hard to have your brand values to shine through that entire process because it requires getting multiple teams on board. But it's so valuable because it turns just clients and customers into an actual tribe and fans. And the best way to do this is to be value aligned and to be clear about your values. Clearly defining, following, and communicating your brand values is contagious throughout your entire team, and they'll pass that along to your clients, and you'll be able to create this full funnel messaging experience in a really authentic way. All right, yeah, and then focus on authenticity, the first and last quote. That's a great spot to leave it. Thanks for watching to the end. I hope you enjoyed.